90-day fiancé couple Brandon Gibbs and Julia Trubkina are headed toward divorce if they don't find a solution to their recent relationship problems. The 29-year-old Julia, a resident of Krasnodar, met Dinwiddie man Brandon, 30, in a unique way. Brandon's friend saw Julia performing at a club where she was working as a go-go dancer. He connected Brandon and Julia via a video call, and that's how Brandon knew that he'd met his future wife. Brandon and Julia got married in April 2020, after Julia moved to Virginia on a K-1 visa. Julia took a long time to get adjusted to the small-town life, and dealing with Brandon's parents Ron and Betty Gibbs was challenging. The fact that they were overly involved in the relationship irked her to no end. However, Julia made the U.S. her home. However, over the years, Julia has been silently fighting her battles, as she yearns to return to Russia. Julia's life has been plagued by a string of problems, especially when it comes to the possibility of her being deported. These issues are driving her and Brandon apart. 5. Julia may not stay in U.S. due to visa immigration issues. Julia shared an alarming update about her green card and immigration status in July 2022, when she wrote, "We need to deal with documents again until December, my green card expires." Julia presumably hadn't filed an I-751 to remove the conditions on the residency before obtaining her permanent residency. That's a 10-year green card. In February 2023, Julia confirmed her visa expired in December 2022. "We don't know anything," she'd admitted her Instagram stories. Julia will appear in court soon for her immigration hearing. Julia's been at risk of getting deported, and Brandon's been helping her in every way that he can. However, Julia's troubles are never ending, which means that Brandon could get tired of trying to fix this particular issue. In April 2023, Julia's car was broken into. Someone stole all her documents, including her green card and passport. 4. Julia often feels homesick in the U.S. Julia confessed that everything in her life is, in a whole, and every day includes, horrible situations. She stated this in her April 2023 IG stories. She admitted that she cries every day, but never got into the details of whether it was because of her green card or relationship issues with Brandon. Julia hadn't been to her home country in a long time, and with her green card being stolen, she has no idea when she'll get a new one. Julia's return to Russia is looking dicey, and she's been feeling homesick. She misses being able to see her loved ones. Julia says her depression is growing every day. 3. Brandon's parents may get in the way of the relationship. Julia was born and raised in Russia. When she left her home country behind, she didn't know how long it would be before she could go back. Brandon and his parents are the only family she knows in America. She didn't have an easy time adjusting to her new life, and living with Ron and Betty on their farm was difficult. She had to wake up early to tend to the farm animals, and Betty was meddlesome. Julia was elated when she got to move away from the farm, but Brandon's dad became sick, and was diagnosed with cancer. 2. Julia Brandon can't agree on wanting children. Ron and Betty were accused of using everything they could to manipulate Brandon into moving closer, and helping with the farm. Brandon and Julia eventually decided to stay in Virginia itself, and not move to Florida. Meanwhile, as the couple celebrated 3 years of being married, questions about when Julia will be having a baby began to arise. Julia has undisclosed health problems that she needs to fix, and her goal was never to have children. However, Brandon has not shared his thoughts on starting a family, which could mean he disagrees with Julia. 1. Brandon isn't supportive of Julia's career. In June 2023, Julia admitted she'd made a major career decision, and Brandon wasn't being supportive of her. Julia decided to return to her old go-go dancing job. She admitted that her body's different now. She's also a little older. However, it's something Julia wants to do, even if Brandon is against it. Julia won't be able to change her decision, since she's already had a job interview, and won't be able to compromise. Following this update, 90 Day Fiancé star Brandon posted a statement, "I don't think this path will have a positive impact on our marriage." Sources: Julia Trubkina, Brandon Gibbs, Instagram.